Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and this is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTubes on a Friday afternoon and a football Friday. Got Howard Bender with me back on a Friday. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Servo. You know, I had a pretty good Thursday night football. I mean, I missed the over. I said that I thought that we were going to see the over in that game. But really, those offenses were just absolutely atrocious. Bryce Young, just, so much more to learn as a player. But, I went 4-1 on my props. DJ Moore hit his prop. Chuba Hubbard, his receiving yards prop. Pass attempts for Bryce Young. I hit that one there as well. The only one that I missed was I think it was Adam Thielen. I had him over 6.5 receptions. I was debating whether or not to take the alt line. I was talking to Josh Wagner about that on the Fantasy Alarm show, and he took the alt line. He took 6+. At slightly worse.
That
odds,
one hit because he fell right at 6.
That one hit. So
I know this because I threw out the same Thielen prop on yesterday's show, and it was a loss because 6.5.
6.5. Yeah,
and the Panthers had the ball there at the end, and they were they're digging it to like Tremble and Hurst, but I was like, Thielen, just get one more catch here. Come on.
Yeah. I was in the same boat.
But you, your best bets article I was checking out yesterday for Thursday Night Football. You hit the Panthers plus 3.5 though, getting that hook, so that cashed, which is nice. Yesterday, me and Grande had a few bets out. I missed on the Thielen one. I hit on Tyson Bagent under his passing yards, which was nice because for a second I thought he was starting out a little bit better. I thought he'd go over it, but he really slowed down, so that was a good cash. We got week 10 Sunday games to break down here. Give out some game bets, give out some player props, touchdown predictions for all of Sunday's games. If you have any of your own picks and props that you want to throw out, definitely throw them in the chat here. Like and subscribe on YouTube, wherever you guys are watching on the Fantasy Alarm or Bettor Sports Network YouTubes, and get involved in the chat here. We love seeing you guys react and interact to our picks and give out your own in the chat here as we go along. So jump on that. Let's get right into to Sunday's slate here. We'll start with some game bets. The board is yours, Howard. Where are you going with your first bet here?
Well, all right. You know what? How about I'm going to go to the Steel City, the Pittsburgh Steelers at home against the Green Bay Packers. Pittsburgh Steelers defense, even without Minkah Fitzpatrick, who I don't think is going to be playing this week, they play much better at home. You look at their numbers across the board, yards allowed, through the air, on the ground, everything like that. Steelers defense just traditionally plays better at home, and nothing wrong with that. I think that the Green Bay Packers, you've got a lot. Jordan Love just has a lot to learn in my eyes. I think that we same thing with Bryce Young. A lot of these young, inexperienced quarterbacks, it takes some time for them to really develop. We came out of the gate all white hot with Jordan Love, and everything was going to be great and everything was going to be fantastic. And then he's definitely come back down to earth. So, in this matchup here, Steelers at home giving up the field goal, I'm okay with that. I think that if they focus in on stuffing the run and trying to stop Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, I think that they're taking the pressure off of themselves. So give me the Steelers at home.
Yeah, this would have been my picks if you didn't throw it out here. So I'm glad you did because I'm backing you here. I like this Steelers -3.
Well, then you could have this one. I'll take the Cowboys money line.
That's a rich price there. If you want to throw out the Cowboys money line, I'm looking right at -2,500 over on BetMGM for the Cowboys money line.
Bet $1 to win 2.5 cents.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, I'm on the Steelers too. I just think that the Steelers overall are just a better team than the Packers. I know Like the Packers are coming off a 20-3 win over the Rams last week, but that was with Brett Rippon under center for LA. So I'm not taking too much stock into that. I do think the Steelers can get this one and cover as favorites. My first pick, I'll go with the Colts. -1.5 is the spread, but I'm just going with the money line. I'm fine with the -130 on BetMGM just to get the win here. This is the Germany game over the Patriots. And listen, I just want to fade the Patriots as much as possible this year because I know they had like a surprise win over the Bills a couple of weeks ago, but this is still a bad team. And I don't think they're going to turn into a good team, even though they're going to Germany here. I see Mac Jones, his numbers as an underdog in his career, 3-16 straight up, 4-15 against the spread. Over his last 15 games as an underdog, 1-14 against the spread. In general, I just see the Colts as a better team, just on both sides of the ball than the Patriots. The Patriots defense has really fallen off. Beginning of the year, it was like, all right, this is going to be one of those elite units, kind of like they were last year, but they've really slipped and fallen off. And I have zero trust in the Patriots to win games at this point. And I honestly trust Gardner Minshew more than Mac Jones under center for the Colts. And especially with the Colts having Jonathan Taylor back, like him and Moss as a 1-2 rushing punch is really good. And Minshew just, doing that game manager role. So another key stat I saw with Colts to back the Colts here, favorites in international games besides the Jaguars. We saw the Chiefs cover the spread last week in their matchup against the Dolphins. And that adds to favorites in international games are now 23-9 against the spread, including 12-3 against the spread when they're favored by a field goal or less. So that fits right into the Colts here. Whatever trend, it's kind of a weird, I guess, just the better team goes out, on a neutral field and wins the game outright. So yeah, give me the Colts here.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting narratives going on around there. I was listening to Brits Blitz over on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, which you should be smashing that like and subscribe button. Both of them. Boom, boom, do it. And she was talking about the fact that there's a lot of talk in like the local Boston media right now about, and I think she threw out like the bold, spicy prediction that New England loses this game in Germany. Bob Kraft so upset about the losing in the Kraft family's fatherland, so to speak. And like all of a sudden, like just Belichick gets fired when he comes home. Like that was the thing. So I kind of enjoy.
They leave him in Germany,
Right? I mean, I kind of enjoy that little narrative there because now all of a sudden I'm like, well, what's Belichick got up his sleeve? Like, if this is what we're talking about, right? If it's end of days, well, I'm sorry, but the trickster's got something to pull, rabbit out of his hat. I don't think he wins this game. I think the Patriots lose this game. I'm with you there. I just think that it's very interesting. I think it's probably going to be a little bit more of a game than some people think.
I mean, yeah, the 1.5 spread, so it should be a close game.
It's going to make you nervous.
A little nervous there.
You're going to be a little nervous.
I'll wake up and watch the Colts win this to start out the day. All right, how about where else are you going?
All right, so Titans Buccaneers. This game seems very, very interesting to me. And I guess I was wrong about the over under in this Panthers game last night because I genuinely thought that the Bears and the Panthers, both their defenses, their past defenses were bad enough to, kind of put some points up on the board. They didn't. I look at this Titans Bucks game here, 39.5 over under. I'm taking the over. I mean, we saw last week what happened between Tampa Bay and Houston, right? Stroud threw for 470 yards on Tampa Bay's defense, 5 touchdowns. Jamel Dean is banged up. What's his face? Carlton Davis is banged up. They're both questionable for the game. I'm not saying that they sit, but they're definitely not at 100% after having just given up 470 yards and 5 touchdowns to CJ Stroud. On the other side, Titans, no Sean Murphy Bunting. He's been ruled out already for this game. They've been dealing with some struggling, with some injuries in an already struggling secondary. And so I kind of look at this and I think that, you can't run on the Titans. You can't run on Vita Vea and the Bucks. These guys are going to be throwing the ball back and forth. Obviously defensive coordinators are going to be trying to plan for that. But again, neither defense really that overwhelming. I think we see some points in this game. So give me the over 39.5.
All right. Yeah, I can get behind that one. The low totals is just like, it could be a sneaky overplay. So I like that one. I'm going to go the Lions here, and I know you got to pick on this game too, but I'm taking the Lions minus 2.5. It's at -3, but I'm buying the 0.5 point just to get the 2.5 because I think it could be a field goal win. Detroit coming off the bye week, I think it's a really good time for them because they had injuries on both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive line. And now they're getting Frank Ragnow and Jonah Jackson back to the offensive line just to strengthen, probably the healthiest their starting offensive line has been all season since week 1 because they've been dealing with injuries all season long, but hasn't impacted them much. But I think this is a huge boost to the run game, especially now with David Montgomery coming back. It's, Montgomery and Gibbs, two-headed running back monster behind the, and healthier offensive line, I think is huge in this matchup against, a questionable Chargers defense. It's been shaky all season long. So I think that can help just kind of, take the pressure off Goff more. I mean, he's been fine, but just having Montgomery back is huge for this game coming off the bye week. And I look at the Chargers. I think we talked about this on Wednesday's show, kind of previewing this game a little bit, but they still haven't proven that they can beat good teams. Their wins this year have been against the Bears, Jets, Raiders, and Vikings. Their losses have been Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, and Titans. I mean, when they play, a formidable opponent or a better opponent, they're losing the game. And it's been by a couple of those losses have been by field goals. So that's why I like getting the 2.5 here. But just Lions are better on both sides of the ball. I know that the Chargers have the advantage at quarterback, obviously, with Justin Herbert, but I think even on the road here, I'm fine with taking the Lions to win this game and cover the spread.
Yeah, I like the Lions in this one as well. I think it's a nice pick. I like buying it down to the 2.5. It's not that juicy at minus 130. I like the under in this game. I'm going to take the under 48.5. The Chargers have been one of those teams that are playing down at a level, not at the level they should. The loss of Mike Williams, the loss of Josh Palmer now on top of that is making it a little bit more difficult. Quentin Johnston is not really quite ready. He's not getting any kind of separation at all. And so I'm kind of worried about really what this passing attack brings. You've got Eckler, you've got Keenan Allen, but, where are the other weapons there? And, you could say Gerald Everett, but, I'm not so sure. So, I think the Lions do have a decent defense. I do worry about what's going on with this Chargers offense and will it be that productive? Lions coming off of the bye. And so I just feel like, maybe this isn't as big a barn burner as some people think it's going to be because, naturally everybody's like thinking about Jared Goff. I was just talking to John and Pemba on the DFS show, and he was talking about the fact that the Chargers' best part about their defense is their pass rush. And so what's the best way to neutralize the pass rush? You either run it right at them, or you the little dump off passes to your running backs, and that helps neutralize the pass rush. So welcome back, David Montgomery. So I think that helps keep. I think that it just helps keep choose the clock up when you run more. I think it keeps that score down. I'll take the under 48.5.
Yeah. I expect the Lions offense to be pretty run heavy in this one with Montgomery back now. I mean, just having him and Gibbs both back there is huge. All right, next one here. I think we're splitting this one. So we got Seahawks Commanders. I'm going with the Seahawks minus the 6. You're going with the Commanders here. I'll go first. I mean, the Washington defense is a worry for me. I know, I think the losing Montrezl Sweat and Chase Young is going to start catching up to them, especially in the pass rush, but just along the defensive line against, a Seahawks offense that likes giving Kenneth Walker a lot of carries. They like leaning on the run here. But a lesser pass rush, I don't think is going to bother Geno Smith much here. To when he's faced some better D lines and better defenses, that's when he's made mistakes. The Seahawks offense has looked a lot less efficient, but I think this is a good spot for the Seahawks to come out and take advantage at home, especially after getting blown out last week against Baltimore. I just think it's going to be a big bounce back for them. Pete Carroll's going to have his team ready. And in this spot, I think he's about a 65% cover rate coming off a loss in his career of just, having his team ready to bounce back, suffering a loss, especially a big loss. I think they're going to rebound at home against the Washington team that, last week they beat the Patriots only by 3 though, and it was a game they could have lost. So I'm still not sold on Sam Howell and that Washington offense either. So I like the Seahawks -6. Your time to counter here because I think you like the Commanders.
Well, I mean, listen, I have the Commanders at +6.5. I got that from -110 on BetMGM, so I feel good about that. 92% of the public money is on Seattle -6. 92% of the public is saying that. I find it a little questionable. I'm not. I don't like betting with the public, especially when the public knows this much that this is going to happen. And so, I look at this and I'm like, well, if that's where everybody else is going, I can go the other way. Sam Howell's going to throw this ball 40, 50 times this game. Like that's all they do. And yeah, Witherspoon is he's a solid cover corner guy. And yes, they've got Jamal Adams, but I think that with Terry McLaurin and Witherspoon kind of battling back and forth, it's going to open up Jahan Dotson. It's going to open up Logan Thomas. Curtis Samuel is expected back. I'm not saying that the Commanders win this game, not by any stretch, but man, I think they cover the spread 6.5 too, which, it's like, it's nice. I feel like I'm being gifted when I see that 92% of the public money is on Seattle -6. I just kind of get giddy that I'm actually getting the Commanders and the extra half point there too.
Yeah. Listen, and with all the public money coming in on the Seahawks and the line it was 6.5 that you got it, and now it's 6. Interesting. And maybe some of the bigger bets, the sharp money, which you're sharp here, is coming in on the Commanders, and that the fact that the line has not moved to Seahawks -7 or in that direction. So you got me worried. I guess best case scenario, I get a push and you get the win, right?
Well, I mean, should we throw something down on this make it a little interesting for us? I mean, I already wore the Taylor Swift shirt. I've already paid that one there. We could throw a little action on this one if you want.
We could. What did you have in mind?
Oh, I didn't really. I mean, this is all just kind of sprung upon me right now.
I'd have to think about that.
I'll tell you what, our producer Sean Engel today. Thank you, Sean. You decide. Throw what Servo and I are going to wager on in the chat. Make it worth our while. Both our whiles here.
We'll let him stew on that, and we'll see what the bet's going to be. If you haven't already, go jump on the Fantasy Alarm All Pro subscription. Howard will have some of his best bets article for the NFL slate coming out. Obviously, we got all the DFS coaches for every single position up right now. Reports, fantasy football reports on red zone, target report, wide receiver, cornerback matchups, IDP, all that stuff you can get with the All Pro subscription at Fantasy Alarm right now. Tonight, we got a huge college basketball DFS slate that I've got a college basketball DFS playbook out for that. So you get that with the All Pro subscription. Tomorrow's college football. Me and Pete Cole have all of your college football bets and DFS plays out there too. So just jump on the All Pro subscription at Fantasy Alarm. Let's get to some player props for Week 10's Sunday slate here. Where are you going with one of your props?
All right, here we go. This is the first one, and this is one of those I put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to use them in DFS, and I've got them in a couple of season-long leagues as well. Brandon Powell, over 24.5 receiving yards, got -110 at BetMGM. Couldn't find a lot of Brandon Powell around the way, so I took the odds here. Listen, it's the Vikings against the Saints. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be on Jordan Addison. Alontae Taylor, the slot corner for the New Orleans Saints, has been atrocious this year. So far against Alontae Taylor alone, game by game, I totaled it up. 52 catches, 686 receiving yards allowed, 3 touchdowns. And I mean, these are like slot receivers. These are not like great players that he's giving up these numbers to. So, like Darnell Mooney last week put up 5 catches for 82 yards on Alontae Taylor. 82 yards. Darnell Mooney, right? I mean, come on. So I've been targeting against him the entire season, in season long in DFS, and here I am betting against him again by betting on Brandon Powell over 24.5 receiving yards.
Powell caught a touchdown last week from Josh Dobbs.
Maybe he catches another one this week.
Maybe he will. And by the way, with that in mind, KJ Osborne in concussion protocol, he apparently practiced today, but we'll see if he's actually active for Sunday's game. So yeah, that's just, I guess, talking Vikings wide receivers. Keep that in mind for Powell. All right, I'll go with Josh Jacobs against your Jets, Howard, but give me his over rushing yards here, over 67.5 rushing yards. The Jets have a great pass defense. We know that, but their rush defense is not great this season. And teams have, taken advantage of this, looking to pound the run because they don't want to challenge Sauce Gardner. They don't want to challenge DJ Reed and force, interceptions, especially with the Raiders situation at quarterback. I feel like they're going to feed Jacobs in this spot. The Jets allowing 137 rushing yards per game, third most in the NFL this year. And a running back has ran for 68 or more rushing yards over this prop in 5 of 8 games against the Jets this season. Jacobs looking a lot better after he got off to a slow start from his holdout, but starting to pick it up more, get a lot more workload in this Raiders backfield. He's been over this line in 3 of the last 5 games with 98 rushing yards last week. So I think it's trending up for him, looking a lot healthier behind that, in that Raiders backfield. So I think the 67.5 just a little too low for me. So I'm taking the over.
Really going out on a limb there, picking on my Jets like that, huh, Servo?
Hey, I did pick the Raiders to win the game. How about that?
Wah, wah. My tackle monster prop of the week. You guys hear Andrew Cooper and I talking about our tackle monster picks over at Underdog Fantasy all the time. We do it here for Bettor Sports Betting. Kazir White, I'm going to say over 8.5 tackles and assists. It's plus 110 at BetMGM. Now, I mean, I was shopping around to see if I could, find a better line because it's minus 140 on the under. So I'm just kind of looking at that. I think personally, I mean, with the way that the Atlanta Falcons run the ball and with Tyler Algier, who according to Arthur Smith is the best goal line back in the NFL. Yeah, I know, right? Bijan Robinson owners are like, yeah. So Kazir White, with the amount of running that they do, he's going to be on the field a ton. They're going to just keep coming running at him. He's going to, he's the one that is back and forth all the time. So give me Kazir White, over 8.5 tackles and assists plus 110. BetMGM.
Well, on that note, I'm going with a defensive player tackle prop too, because like the Falcons, the Lions, another team that just runs the ball, with David Montgomery back too this week, it's going to be a lot of runs. We talked about this earlier with previewing this game, giving our picks out, but Kenneth Murray over 6.5 tackles plus assists. I like this one because, as the linebacker in this spot against the Lions, they've been racking up tackles. As a team this year, the Lions are allowing the second most tackles per game, and 12 linebackers that middle linebackers, inside backers have hit this over in 8 games this year against the Lions. So I think Murray is going to be the next to do it because he's gone over this prop in 6 of his 8 games this season. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a lot of Montgomery and Gibbs carries and a lot of chances for Kenneth Murray to rack up tackles.
Love it, man. I love a good tackle monster prop. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, I got here we go. Joe Mixon. I was looking at his work over at BetMGM, and it was like 68.5 rushing yards for like minus 110 or something like that. Over at Caesars, Joe Mixon over 65.5 rushing yards at plus 100. Lay it down over there at Caesars. Get the even money call. 3 yards less that you have to worry about in this one. Listen, Jamar Chase has a back issue. T. Higgins is already ruled out. The way you beat Houston typically is through the ground game. And so I think there will be a little bit more of a lean on Joe Mixon in this game. I mean, listen, the CJ Stroud versus Joe Burrow, big matchup that everybody's like kind of salivating over. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. But I think, it's more important. Cincinnati knows that they need to it's so much more important to, get that W, and whatever it takes. It doesn't, put everybody puts ego in check on that team, which is nice to see. So with the receiving core hurting, I think there's a little bit heavier of a lean on Mixon over 65.5 rushing yards at plus 100 on Caesars.
Yeah. And getting the better line there over on Caesars. It's, just stressing the importance of shopping around, trying to find the best lines out there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you got one more prop, right?
One more here. Will Levis over 30.5 pass attempts. It's a plus 100 on BetMGM. I was looking over at I think it was DK, and it was at like minus 120 for that. So again, shopping around, finding a little bit better of a deal. I think that both these teams start throwing the ball more, and it's Will Levis versus Baker Mayfield. Was that a sneeze? God bless you.
That was a cough, but thank you.
Well, then never mind. Forget you. Will Levis over 30.5 pass attempts at plus 100. The Bucks and the Titans start slugging it out later on.
All right. I love the just quick pivot to God bless you, and then get back to the analysis.
Hey, man,
that's what you're getting here on the Bettor Sports Betting show.
Don't want those evil spirits that you're trying to expel from your body. I don't want them to that's why you say it. That's why you say God bless you to somebody, so that the evil spirits that they're trying to push out don't go right back in.
I think the other thing that I have heard that is when you sneeze, doesn't your heart like stop for a split second? So that's why people say like God bless you, because your heart stops but you're back.
That. Oh man, I would love that. Like just start rapid fire sneezing until I'm like taking that, like going into my permanent sleep.
That's my dad, not to get too far away from this, but my dad, he's the kind of person that sneezes like 6 times in a row, and he just like one right after another. And every time he does, I'm like wait and say God bless you, wait and say, but I'm like, no, he's got like 4 more coming.
Yeah. Do you have to say it after every single one if it's a rapid fire sneezer like that?
I think if you know, then you wait.
You get away with it. Can you get away with just lumping them all in one?
Before we get to some touchdown predictions for Week 10, gotta shout out the BettorCast app again here, because we got Nets Celtics tonight. I think it's the in-season tournament tonight in the NBA. And we got a BettorCast for this Nets Celtics game. So download the BettorCast app today. Answer some pregame and in-game questions. Always free to play. Win tickets. And the more questions you get right, the more tickets you win to win some authentic NFL signed gear and collectibles. So download the BettorCast app in the Apple app or Google Play stores. And you must be at least 18 years of old to play. All right, Week 10 touchdown predictions here. I'll go first. Tony Pollard, it's minus 150 on BetMGM, but this matchup against the Giants, I don't see how he doesn't get in the end zone. Interesting, though, he scored twice in Week 1 against the Giants, has not scored a touchdown since. Right? I think he's, Howard, he's due. He's due to get in the end zone because the Giants, they've allowed 13 rushing touchdowns this year over 9 games. They've allowed a rushing touchdown in all but 1 game this year, and they've allowed a rushing touchdown to a lead back in all but 2 games this year. So I think Pollard gets into the end zone here, just like he did in Week 1 against the Giants. Minus 150 is a little rich, but I think I'm fine paying that just because of the Giants' track record against running backs this year.
Giants' track record against running backs has been terrible. I was talking about him on the DFS show with Impemba, and Impemba was like, "Yeah, but look at his game log here in these blowouts. He hasn't since that game against the Giants, he hasn't done anything even in blowout games." So he got me all a little nervous about Tony Pollard. So I hope you're right.
Well, I was looking at it too because I was considering his rushing yards prop this week, but his yards have been very down every single game since that Giants game basically, and his touchdowns too have not been there. But I'm hoping this is the week he gets back.
I like it. All right, my here's my first touchdown call because I got two.
Okay.
My first one here, this kind of, you're not going to like this. Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown. He's getting into the end zone this week. I got a plus 130 over at Caesars. Listen, man, the Colts have given up 15 rushing touchdowns this season. It's the most in the league, 125.6 rushing yards per game allowed. This is not a good run defense. Mac Jones is not a good throwing quarterback. Demario Douglas is banged up. Devontae Parker's out. They're just going to run the football. And while you're thinking, well, would the Colts just stack the box? Yeah, they would. And they still don't have enough to stack the box. Ramondre Stevenson gets into the end zone this week. Believe it.
I like that. Yeah, he broke off a long touchdown run last week. So even if they're not even in the red zone, he has that breakaway, speed and playmaking ability to get in the end zone. So, all right, you're going with the plus money. I'm just going to take the low hanging fruit here. I don't care if this is chalky. I don't care if it's, obvious, but Christian McCaffrey, touchdown. It's minus 250, but throw this in a parlay because he is now he's tied for the most touchdowns in consecutive games. The NFL record is at 17. He's at 17 right now. He needs one more to break it, and it's coming here because, with the 49ers offense just kind of, looking a little iffy in recent weeks, Brock Purdy a little banged up. I just think they're going to lead on McCaffrey in both the rushing and passing here, and I just see him, because of the fact that he needs a touchdown to break this streak. I think in the red zone, they're going to be giving him the ball just to, even if, it's maybe not the smartest because they know it's coming, but I think he's getting in the end zone here because, listen, it's minus 250 for a reason, but I think you throw this in a parlay, and I'm fine with that. So obviously not like a out on a limb call here, but whatever.
Oh, listen, man, as long as you throw it into a parlay, why not?
Yeah.
Love to see him set that record.
I wouldn't bet this straight up, but
All right, my other touchdown call here, Mike Evans. Anytime touchdown, it's at minus 110 on BetMGM. It's at plus 163 at Caesars. Get on over to Caesars and hammer that one right there. Listen, again, Sean Murphy Bunting is out. The Tennessee Titans secondary is weak with him in it. Imagine what it's like with him out of it. Baker Mayfield's going to be throwing the ball. Neither team has, a ground game. Both run defenses are solid. So they're going to throw the ball here. Mike Evans comes in with a touchdown at plus 163.
All right. Yeah, and this goes right in line with your over in that game too. So let's root for some Mike Evans. How about 2 touchdowns for Evans?
Fine, do it.
All right. Before we wrap up here, our producer Sean Engel has thrown in our chat here with the bet that we will be making based on the Seahawks Commanders game. So we both took either side of the -6 spread there for the Seahawks Commanders, and this is the bet according to our producer Sean, and I think we both agree to this. So if I win with the Seahawks -6. You have to wear a pair of bird wings and do a bird call on the air.
Yeah.
And if you win with the Commanders plus the 6.5, I have to wear an outfit similar to a military commander and do some push-ups on the air with Howard ordering me to do them. as I'm doing some push-ups.
I like that. How many push-ups do we are we saying here? Is it a 10 push-up thing? Is it a 5 push-up thing? I mean, I got to get creative here. All of a sudden, how am I going to wear a pair of bird wings? Like, I'm going to have to like make sometimes I'm going to have to like go crafting this weekend or something like that.
I know. I don't think I have any army wear here, but I'll try to figure that out.
Okay. Not to mention, I don't know if you've ever heard my duck call before. Have I ever done my duck call for you?
I feel like I've heard that in the past, but
you
want to throw it out right now.
I do a really good duck call.
You want to do it right now, or you want to save that?
I mean, I can do it right now if you really want me to.
Let's do it.
Yeah, bear with me. I know it live air here. Live air. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, duck.
I was half expecting that, honestly, because I know you, and maybe I've heard that before too. It was in the back of my mind. Oh man! All right, well there it is. That's not.
I'll do a better bird call.
I was gonna say you gotta do a Seahawk call on the air for Monday.
All right. Well, I accept the terms of this wager. Now remember, so I have Washington plus 6.5. You have Seattle -6. So
if it's a push,
a push there's no bird wings at all. Just so you know, nothing happens if that's the case.
If it's a push but you still win, then I'll pay the bet because you would have won, right?
Oh yeah, it can't be a push. That's right.
Well, for mine to be, I would push, but you would win.
Oh yeah. So yeah, if I I got you.
Unless you want to change your bet to 6.
No, I'm good like there with my 6.5. Why would I take a half point away from myself? You're crazy. You crazy, Servo. All right, bird wings and a bird call and a legit bird call. I'm in on that one, baby. I like that. Sean Engel, everybody, our producer. Great call, man. I love that. 10 push-ups.
I can pound out 10 push-ups.
Can you bang out 10 push-ups?
Yeah,
I don't think I can.
I got room here to get on the ground and do some push-ups.
I just started thinking about doing 10 push-ups. Okay.
I'm gonna start working out this weekend to make sure I can do 10. All right, that's
Brian Drew. Boom.
That's about it for us on this Friday show. Appreciate everyone joining in and chiming in. And hopefully you guys all cash your own bets this weekend. We'll be back on Monday's show to see how we did and see who pays off this bet. Up after us, by the way, on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Arm YouTube, we got NBA DFS live show with John and Pemba and James Grande getting you ready for tonight's games. And then the Bettorcast at 7:30 for Nets Celtics tonight. So jump in on the Bettorcast app for tonight's little NBA action in the Bettorcast. So we'll be back Monday and we'll see how we do. We'll see where we cash, see where we lose, and see who's paying off this Seahawks Commanders bet between me and Howard. Should be fun. All right, we'll see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend.